Welcome everyone. I have here the brand new ScaleTrains Trinity 82 foot, 7,883 cubic foot reefer. Been very excited for this model to come out. I've been waiting for it for some time. In fact, I'm actually kind of surprised that somebody finally made it. I just assumed that it would never actually happen. So glad that ScaleTrains came out with it. I'm not going to do an unboxing or anything like that, but I am going to take some time and kind of go through the details on this model and look at it from a BNSF modeler's perspective, since that's what I do. So hopefully this is something that you find helpful. If you're on the fence about buying these cars, I'm going to say right off the bat, I would highly recommend it. These are very well done. Their detailing is excellent. Looks like the dimensions are right on, and things overall look very, very nice. So a couple of things here. There are a few different versions of this car. This particular one has the regular 12-foot doors. There is a version that has insulated doors, and where the upper 2/3 is thicker, and those ones will either come with the icicle graphics up here or none at all. So that's another variation there. The roofs on these cars can be changed out. The ones that are modeled here by ScaleTrains are kind of a smooth fiberglass roof, which is pretty common, but like I said, they do get changed out quite a bit, and there's variations on those roofs. Some of them will have ribs. Some of them will actually be made out of metal. Seen a few pictures and videos that show quite a bit of rust up there on the top, but most of them have the original fiberglass. Now, I'm going to kind of look down here at the end, and let's go through some of the details that are down here. So over here at the A end, where the refrigeration unit is, first of all, if you look closely, you can see through the refrigeration unit, which I think is a nice detail. All the other cars that I've had that I've made myself, like this cryogen reefer back here, are using Atlas parts and or BLMA, depending on when I got them. And they're nice. They're very nice, actually, but they don't have that kind of see-through quality, which I thought was a nice touch. So going back to this thing here, there are a couple of variations on the end platforms here as well. So this one, if you look at it, has more of a kind of a not a rounded appearance. It is a little more angled, and that is one of the ways that it can be done. The other way is round, and I've got a car here that I built myself, and it's not perfect, right? I don't have it completely corrected dimensions. I had to kit bash this thing. You can see it's round on the end platform here versus totally square like the other one. By the way, this model that I made was kit bashed from a couple of old BLMA cars. So I built it out to the correct dimensions, reused the doors and end panels. I had to build the cage myself, did the roof myself, that sort of thing. So this is how I thought I was going to have to make all of the cars, was by hand. So I was getting ready to actually make a couple more when ScaleTrains came out with their announcement. So like I said, very, very happy with what they were able to do. Going back to the ScaleTrains car here, the grab irons on most of the prototypes that I've seen are painted white. However, it's not the entire grab iron. That's easy to fix on this model, though. Just take a little black and color in the parts that are supposed to be black. If you look closely, you can see the draft gear here where the coupler connects, and that is correct. All the details they have on the end plate are correct, including the little bolts that hold the end plate in. Dimensions are also correct. If you look underneath the car even, I'll pull this up here, the draft gear down here where the air hose connects is also correct. That is a detail that is not often seen, but if you compare it to the prototype, it is right on. So well done. The coupler that is on here is just the ScaleTrains coupler. These cars on the prototype come with more of a long shank coupler, similar to what I have on the one that I built. So they stick out a little further. Depending on how the car is positioned in the prototype pictures, it might look shorter. If the car is, for example, on a slope and the cars are bunching up, it's going to appear to be a shorter coupler, but in reality, they are usually going to be these long shank couplers. The platform itself is well done. Also, the grading is correct. On the prototypes, it is a rectangular grading like that. If you look inside here, you can see the fuel tank as well. It has the correct sight glass that's just to the right of the ladder there. That is on both sides. You can also see, if you look down between the platform and the car body, there are two fill hoses or fill necks, also correct as well for the prototype. So overall, a really nice rendition of the A end. Also, the angle of the sill down here at the body is well done, how it kind of curves in. The jacking plates look good as well. They are kind of clear in the middle. They're maybe a little on the thick side, but that's acceptable. Graphics on the car look great. They are a little on the dark side, but this is also depicting a brand new car. So that's what I would expect to see. Most of the ones you see in service now are going to be a little more faded like this. Now, this car here that I made was done with microscale decals. And they made their decals to fit a much shorter car. I think they were basing it off the length of the old Walther's cryogenic reefers. And so their icicle graphics are actually not correct. They're condensed compared to what they should be. So looking at this, you see this one spread out a little bit more. But yeah, a little on the dark side if you are going to be weathering the car. So you want to pay attention to that. You might have to do some extra work on those to lighten them up a little bit. The roof detail, see if I can get this in focus up here, but the detail on the roof is nice. Now, it is just kind of a fiberglass sheet on the prototypes, but if you look closely, there are little bolt heads that are sticking out, and that is correct. If you look at some pictures of roof shots, you'll notice that those bolts are often rusted, and so it's a nice little effect that you can see as you look at the prototypes. Graphics on the door. All the lettering is nice and clear, looks to be in the right place. This is going to vary some from prototype to prototype. Some of them have had things kind of patched out and different decals added, different information. So an interesting thing to model if you choose to do so, but it's well done there. Door tracks are separately applied, so you have some space between the body and the door tracks. That looks good. The little BNSF cross decals that run the length of the car. On the prototype, those are reflective, and these are in the correct place. They look good. This car has the FRA striping on it, which, in my case, it's all going to get weathered out anyways. I'll be repatching that when the time comes. BNSF Herald looks good. Looking at the car data over here on the right, compare it to the prototype, and everything matches up just right. It's all the same numbers, placement is the same, everything looks very, very good. It is all very legible on the car as well. So again, another good job there by ScaleTrains. Going down to the B end here, pay attention to kind of the bottom of the ladders down here. If you see the little angle down there at the bottom, that is correct for the prototype. That's what they have. Again, the BNSF little circle logos, the cross logos down there, that's correct as well. So everything looks good on this side. Just change out that coupler for something that's a long shank, and that should look rather nice. Some of the cars have a black brake wheel and brake stand as well, so you can look at your specific prototype and change it from there. On the prototype again, these little blue stripes up here on the top are also reflective, and those can fade to a pretty light blue. The reefer units on these things can be changed out pretty easily. So depending on the area that you're modeling, you can order these with different types of reefer units. I'm going more modern. By the time period I model, most of them had already been switched out to these newer Thermo Kings. The underbody detail, also very nicely done. I do have pictures of underbodies on these cars as well, including full measurements, and I didn't bother checking the measurements against it. But like I said earlier, their draft gear is very nice. Placement of the brake lines, hoses, and all the air lines as well look good. The one thing that these cars have that ScaleTrains did not model is most of these cars were sprayed with insulation underneath them, in between all the ribs on the underframe, to fill in some of the space and to allow things to be a little bit more insulated. They didn't model that. You certainly can if you choose to. I'm probably not going to bother with it, to be honest with you. I don't think that it's 100% necessary for what I'm looking for here. Now, BNSF owned most of these cars. There are actually a few that have been leased to or bought by TILX. Some of them do have the BNSF graphics like you would see here, with the BNSF logo patched out, as well as the BNSF reporting marks and number replaced with TILX. So there are a few of them like that have been repatched. There were actually a few of these cars that were made from the get-go for TILX that don't have any of the BNSF graphics. And interestingly enough, those ones also do not have a 12-foot door. They have a 10-foot door. And I believe those cars were put into captive service for potatoes, I want to say. So they are out there. So there's a couple of different variations here. With the cars that I got, I plan on keeping one or two of these things as is, as far as the door goes and other details, and then just weathering them and maybe adding some graffiti as appropriate for the prototype. I will also take one and modify the door so that way it reflects one of the more recent insulated doors. And I'm going to do a second one with that same thing and take off the icicle graphics as well. So do a few different variations based off of this. I'm sure that ScaleTrains is going to come out with those variations eventually, but I like to model, and I'm also impatient, so perfectly happy to go ahead and do some of the work myself. Overall, very happy with what ScaleTrains was able to do here. I think they really nailed this one. It's a great prototype, fantastic car. And boy, they really did a good job here. So kudos to ScaleTrains. Looking forward to getting some more of their stuff here if they make some things that I need. By the way, a little plug for them. I would love to see some cryotrans cars. Now, I haven't made my own here. These are made from the Walthers cars. Did a lot of work to these things to get them where they need to be. And yeah, it's one way to do it. And again, I don't mind modeling, but that is a lot of work. So love to see some cryotrans cars. Really would love to see the newer Greenbrier cars, the 82-foot ones. Those are not going to be easy to model or kit bash on your own. So ScaleTrains, if you're listening, love to see some. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Hope that this was educational. And like I said, if you're looking for some good reefers, I would recommend picking some of these things up.